Hello again, lords and ladies. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are continuing our CK3 campaign, Dutch's Legacy. You're watching episode 6. We have a lot of ground to cover today, and I mean that figuratively and literally because I really want to start traveling a little bit more because I want Dutch to get to the location that I want to settle down roots is, and I did discuss this very briefly in my last episode, I believe. I talked about where I wanted to go. I think I want to head to India because it's essentially the other side of the map. So Dutch will be a well-traveled individual if we can get over here to India. And I mentioned since there's no Tahiti, and we have no Tahiti to go to with Dutch, I think I'm just going to create my own Tahiti. We're going to use Sri Lanka as our Tahiti, and we'll just rename it. And then I think I want to become the king of it. So that's when we're going to settle down roots down here, but we need to make the trip. So essentially, think of it this way. The early game is over. The early game was our starting position and the initial cities that we use to get a lot of contracts and make a lot of money. But now that we have some money in our pockets, we've become quite famous as well. Our level of fame's going up and we're improving all of these things. I think they're in a good enough place where we can spend less time in one city at a time and really accelerating our travels because I want to get to India in Dutch's lifetime. I don't want him to die. It could happen, you know, we might just have an unfortunate event along our journey which kills Dutch, and I'm willing to roll with that. You know, the game is going to throw us a curveball. Maybe. You know, RNG is a very fickle beast. But if I can make it to India with Dutch, I would like that, but you never know. It's going to be a dangerous journey, but I think we're ready to start accelerating it. So the early game is over. We made the money in our initial starting positions in our initial cities. We ended up in Venice we ended up in Milan last episode. I want to take a few contracts here. We're not going to stay here very long, and then I would really like to start moving. And I'm going to use these special locations as kind of a rough road, so to speak. I'm going to use these as my highway because I want to hit as many of these locations as possible. So, for example, we'll come down to Rome. We'll come up to Ravenna and hit Venice. And then I might come up here, hit Regensburg, Prague, and Brno, which I like to call. We've had experience with Brno because I had a campaign where I did like a Bohemian campaign, which is really fun. So I'm very familiar with Brno. And then we're going to have a long distance to travel. We're going to come down here, I think, and we'll hit Greece. I might use Athens as a campsite. We'll try to hit most of these. You know, we'll use Athens as a camp and probably do a lot of contracts because there's a lot to hit right here. And then, of course, we'll come over here, come into Constantinople, head through Turkey. I might make a trip. This is like a side trip into Egypt, but it would be really nice. There's a lot of stuff to get here. And then we'll just kind of travel along the special, you know, buildings and make our way to India, ultimately. But the faster we can make this journey, the better. Oh, yeah, I can't forget, my wife is pregnant. We've had two daughters so far. One turned out amazing. So I'm hoping my son, hopefully, he gets those traits. At least quick and beautiful. At some point, I might change my my camp purpose, but for now, we're going to stay as criminals. See, the one reason why I might want to switch just to make our travels quicker is if you become explorers, your travel speed is increased by 25%. So, and I could travel by sea faster. I mean, not faster, safer. So maybe becoming explorers is a possibility, but freebooters is fine. Let's grab ourselves a contract. We've done mug wealthy citizenry before, and it really turned out well, and there's actually 2 of them. And there's also some do goody two-shoes contracts, which might be nice to do because if I'm going to be traveling a lot, I need to keep my wanted levels under control. Because your wanted level affects general opinion, so that's everyone. Man, woman, or child, culture, different faith. everybody. So we want to keep that at a minimum, and doing above-board contracts will help reduce that. But we will start with the criminal contracts. A criminal one. Let's start in Genoa. And there is a special location here. The Walls of Genoa. I need to replace Arthur Morgan. We lost him last episode. Somebody killed him. So we need to replace him. And let me see if there's a good caravan master. Simon Pearson is jobless, and he would be pretty good. Hosea Matthews already has 2 jobs, so I'm not giving him a 3rd one. So, Mr. Pearson, he is good. We'll make him our caravan master. I can get rid of this, right? No danger. Yep, we're safe. And then, hopefully, along our travels, we'll find a good Arthur Morgan. Come on, wifey, I need a son. I like daughters, but I need a son. I need a Dutch Jr. Since we've accumulated quite the gang, and we have a lot of capable criminals, I'm going to focus less on success chance, and let's try to do like a more balanced thing, so I can minimize the amount of time we're spending doing these. We brought in Karen Jones last episode, and she is our new Master Thief. This is a new position that we filled. So she better be worth it. We brought her in recently. And this is why. Loyal. And she's good at her job. 29 intrigue. She's better than me. Nope, I beat her by 1. My wife is not allowed to come with us, but Abigail can. Oh, you know what? John Marston is 15. They're both 15, so I'll make John Marston. Uncle would be a really good thumb. He's not useless in this, in our campaign like he was in Red Dead Redemption. But I've been an Uncle apologist before. I like Uncle. I said he did serve a purpose in the gang. Like, he was the comic relief. Like, everybody beat up on him, but he was like a stress-relieving thing for the gang. And he did bring some jobs to the gang's attention that ended up being profitable. So Uncle wasn't completely useless, even though the game and most of the gang pretty much saw him as useless. But he wasn't. Okay, let's get her done. 95% secrecy, that's the highest we can make it. We're starting with 3 advantages. And the phases are pretty short. Between the chaos of regularly moving sites and the coming and going of fresh faces every other town, there's plenty of time in the day for followers to find they have unforeseen connection with someone new and unexpected. Judging from their shared in-jokes, past whispers, and occasional unsubtle sneaking away, this seems to be just the case with Bill Williamson and Karen Jones. Are they lovers or something? And if that happens, like, in the background, I'm not against it. They become lovers. Alright, so that answers the question. I can discourage it and get 75 prestige, which isn't really that much right now. They gained their opinion of each other, 75 opinion of each other, that's good, but I don't know if I want them to become lovers. You're going to start having kids and stuff, and that's just more to worry about. It's going to stress them out, though. Okay. Our first skill check, 91%. 91. 91. All successful. As the camp's boss, when two of my more notable followers wish to wed... Wow, they wasted no time. They live within my protection, travel on my animals, and break my bread, after all. Today's hopeful couple are Karen and Bill Williamson. And with everything else in place, they only await me. So, they completely ignored the last event. I told them not to become lovers, so they're like, okay, screw it. He won't let us become lovers. Maybe he'll let us marry. I don't know how I feel about this, guys. I'm not against it in, like, any significant way. I'm really not. At least this ensures that they don't kill each other. And they both serve very important purposes in my gang. She's my master thief and he's my bodyguard. My best bodyguard, actually. Screw it. Now they can drive each other crazy. Independent ruler opinion plus 20. I think that's the first one I'm going to get. Travel safety. We haven't had a lot of trouble with travel safety. Different culture opinion. Ooh, maybe I should start with that one first, actually. But it's the initial contract scheme success chance plus 15%. That's the bonus. I mean, I want to learn some languages. I probably should be learning another language right now. But it's tough learning languages because what's the point in learning a language if I'm only going to be in that part of the world for a very short period of time? So, but I do want... Maybe I should learn the languages of my followers. I'm going to start with best foot forward. The perk is called best foot forward, so let's put our best foot forward, and we'll start with that. And I think I might finish this tree. The latest work of my acquaintance, Count Theophylact, has become all the rage at court, at camp, of late. The piece deals with memory and what we leave behind, and Theophylact has publicly dedicated it to me. The memory of a boss. What man does not hope to rest when tired, no matter his wealth and treasure acquired? And when their final hour nears, their name lives on the lips of peers. I gained 50 piety. I'll just do that. So 2 more advantages, and then we'll drop it. Oh, wow. It just went down. What happened? Oh my god, I just had twins. I had a son and another daughter. He's going to be easy to name. She is a different... Maria? Maria Van Der Linde? That rolls off the tongue. I like how that sounds. Maybe I'll just stick with Maria. It's partially me being lazy, but I legitimately like Maria. It's nice. He didn't get an intelligence trait, but at least he got something. Fertility plus 20, attraction opinion plus 20, diplomacy plus 2. Watch, my daughter probably got everything good. Nope, she got the same thing. She's pretty. Now, there's time for us to have future sons and stuff, so it's not set in stone that this is going to be my heir. But he is going to be Dutch Junior. Should I say Junior? Or no, his name is just going to be Dutch, and we will refer to him as Dutch Junior. And then Maria's fine. And then they came out of the womb intimidated by me. And these two are going to get along well, so there's that. They're going to like each other a bit because of this trait. It's not a trait that I find getting a lot of use out of, but we're getting some use out of it now. I don't like how my success chance went down. Didn't you guys see that? It went from like 79 to down to 64. So maybe I should play it safe and get another 5. The phases aren't... They're not awful. And we can get another robbery in. But this time it's only 74%. What the hell happened? Why are my odds going down all of a sudden? My wife is sick. Hosea, you better get on that. I'm gonna let this one pass. I'm just gonna let it pass. I'm not gonna... Duchess is at that age where a child absorbs everything and anything around her like a sponge soaking up water. Though present circumstances prevent me from giving her the finest of educations. By the way, I can give her an education, and I said it. She's pensive, and I'm starting to give her a learning education. We haven't learned my my second daughter's trait. Oh, yes, we did. No. My second daughter. Charming. Since I am raising her myself, I'm going to raise my first daughter for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to replace her with my son. But it's not necessary to do right now. Okay, instead of the tutors, books that some of more fixed wealth might be entitled to, she roams the camp shadowing my officers and eagerly assisting them in their duties. A little nudge towards someone specific would likely do wonders for focusing her efforts. She's pensive, so let's give her something that'll work. Unfortunately, there's no learning option. This one's for diplomacy, this one's for stewardship, and this one's for intrigue. And I can't switch. Who is my quartermaster? John Marston? No, he's my second. Jose is my quartermaster. If he raises her, or if that's how it works... No. She's my ward. So my personality traits are what matters. So she's not going to get any personality traits from this guy. I'm her guardian. Let's do quartermaster. $74%. Alright, good. 205 gold on top of the gold that we took, so we just doubled our money. We started the episode with like 3.5 or 350. As we walk through the church in Savona, I overhear a group of travelers talking quietly to one another. One of them, a man, starts describing and comparing the church with his journey to the Vatican. I can't help but listen on the conversation as he continues going into detail about the fantastic things he saw. Okay, yeah, we get it. We're gonna go there. Traveling to the bishopric of the Vatican in a pilgrimage will give you piety and stress loss. I'm not gonna do it in a pilgrimage. I don't even have an option to do pilgrimages. But I'm going to lose 5 gold. Whatever, I'll do that one. We are going to the Vatican. We are walking among the hills late in the day. The darkness comes suddenly, brought by the dark clouds above us. Then, there is a distant loud rumble of thunder. Soon, there is another, combined with a dazzling flash of lightning. Shouldn't there have been the lightning first and then the thunder? And another strike, brightly illuminating the area. The afterimage burned into my eyes. I blink and see where the lightning has struck. Now, there is a quickly expanding brush fire, and it's spreading toward us. The fire engulfs my entourage. The fire is stopped, albeit at a cost. There's a 60% chance if it catches us, you know? So, maybe not this one. Let's do this. Okay, we quell it. See, it's close calls like that and little events like that that might hurt us. Come on, wifey. Feel better. So we built our mess tent. Let's see what it does for us. It unlocks the chief cook. I hope I can make this... Oh, no, we already made Mr. Pearson our... We made him our caravan master. Okay, what is the cook for us? Let's see. We can keep it empty temporarily. Initial hostile scheme success chance, -3% up to -20 based on aptitude. And I would really like to put someone here that works. Apparently, according to the color coding here, it's intrigue that makes somebody a good cook. So Mr. Pearson wouldn't be suited for that. My wife doesn't have a position. Since I don't have to pay her, I might as well fill the position. So she reduced the hostile scheme initial success chance by 8%. That's not a lot. Substantially improves the gather provisions decision. Okay, we have a lot of room for provisions right now. Unlocks extra options for the camp revelry. Stress loss plus 5%. And improves opinions, and prowess schemes are a little shorter to accomplish. Let's see the mini buildings that I can build. I can construct any of them. So a couple of these buildings unlock the Chief Forager. Those are the only ones. Courtier opinion plus 10. Domicile income. Plague resistance. Gain 50% provisions when foraging. Murder schemes begin with a free poisoner agent. I haven't been committing murders. Like, we've been committing murders and stuff. Like, we've been killing people during the contracts, but I haven't done any personal schemes or hostile schemes that have involved murdering. So maybe that's not a high priority. And we'll get more slots as we upgrade it, you know. But which one do I want to start with? Something that's practical. Provisions capacity plus 50%. And some income. I'd call that pretty practical. I'm building it. I want to get at least one sub-building for all of my, like, my base buildings. And then once we build that, once we're done building this, we'll upgrade something. I already got my tent up to level 3, so we'll upgrade something else. Alright, so I think we're back at camp. Let's travel to the tavern and see if there's any potential hires, any potential Arthur Morgans that we can bring in. So, since I have a lot of money, I can afford to possibly spend some gold to bring somebody in. He's meh. He's rounded, but not super impressive anywhere. What about you? This guy does have some specialties. I think, in terms of personality, you might not agree with me with the compassionate, but I think Arthur Morgan... I think compassionate fits. Like, he killed when he had to, and, yeah, I mean, if you're role-playing in Red Dead Redemption as a bad guy, of course you're gonna kill innocent people all the time, but that's not how I played Red Dead Redemption. I think that Arthur's story, the good ending, and being a good character, is really how Arthur is meant to be played. Now, you can argue with me in the comments, or you can argue with me. You can play you can play him any way you want. It's a single-player game, after all. You can play him in any way you want. But I think the story makes more sense with Arthur as, like, a good guy. So his personality matches in Arthur Morgan, and he was Arthur's age. I think Arthur was 35? Whatever. He's not impressive. He's not good with intrigue, and actually that would be the most useful, really. He would be a half-decent knight at 10 prowess. I don't think Arthur Morgan was particularly religious. I think I'm settling. I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to get caught in a trap for just settling for the first guy I come across. So I'm going to pass him over. Oh my goodness. I just, like the background talking, I just heard somebody say, in English, I know I am. If anybody else caught that. That was weird. Wow, that was distracting. I apologize. I don't like this guy. He's not impressive either. He's got really good martial, but he would be a piss poor knight. We'll come across plenty of people in our travels. So I'm not worried. Let's do these. My wife is still sick. Let's do some legal contracts to maybe take care of some of my wanted levels. This one will reduce my bandit, which doesn't really need to be reduced. This one's bandit as well. Rescuing a fair subject brings you a new character, a new potential character, but everyone that I've done so far has been a female, and I want an Arthur. Like, I need a male. At least with this one, I make some money. Unless there's somebody in their court with congenital traits, I'm not interested in trying to get somebody from their court. You know what? Maybe I don't have to do these ones. Like, I didn't think about... Like, I should have checked what gallows bait trait they would reduce, and bandit is not one that's in trouble. I need to work on poacher and thief. Now, there is a decision I can do. Wipe slate. I could spend 175 gold, 75 prestige, and 150 piety, which I have. And I could select any gallows bait trait and reduce it this way. But I don't want to spend gold. I want to save my gold. I'm going to do one more criminal contract, and then we're going to move down to Rome. My wife falls pregnant? It's like the event... It's like it was supposed to say wife falls ill, but... She is pregnant. She's pregnant again. And she's been sick this whole time. Alright, Dutch, you need to give Molly a break, man. You're wearing her out. Me and Hosea became friends. Up to 80%. Hopefully this doesn't go down again. And the phases are still relatively short, 21 days. So now that we have some experience and that we've accumulated a bunch of, like, really good followers, we can get through these contracts faster. Whereas when we first started, it was slow going, because it was just me by my lonesome, and maybe, like, we had 2 starting characters. 90%. Uh-oh. Duchess's petulant shrieking could wake the dead. I said it isn't fair, not at all. Why do we have to live out here like this? Like we're just animals roaming from place to place with no palaces, no castles, not even proper beds. I didn't ask for this poverty, and I deserve better. Through the screaming and outrage, I can see that my daughter's frustration is real. Tears of both anger and sadness rolled down both of her cheeks. Diplomacy challenge to get her to calm down. 35% chance that she becomes depressed. I don't want that to happen. This is my first daughter. She calms down. Whew. Alright, Dutch. Well done. Probably the hardest challenge that we've had to overcome this entire campaign. It's not all the criminal contracts, it's calming our daughter down. And she just needs to relax and be patient. We'll get there when we get there. I just had another son. And he's not taking over. He's definitely not going to be my heir. I think I'm going to name him Arthur after his best friend. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, I thought it already happened. Trelawney and Uncle are fighting. They duel to the death, so one of them is going to die. And they're both really useful. Maybe not Uncle so much, definitely Trelawney, so if I had to take sides, I would definitely take his sides. His side. But according to the event, he's the instigator, so it's Hosea Trelawney that I'm going to be arresting. I could just immediately put a halt to it. Yes! Wow, RNG is really being nice to me today. So we built the upgrade. I don't think it's necessary that I increase my provision capacity because we haven't even filled our current capacity, so it's kind of low priority. This one will begin to allow, as I upgrade the baggage train, it will allow me to start recruiting some regiments of soldiers if I wanted to. Stress loss is useful, and courtier and guest opinion is useful. We already got the camp perimeter. Oh, no, it's still level 1. We can get it to 2. This is the one I'm doing. Travel speed and safety. Yes. Yeah, we're gonna skip over that. All right, we're gonna get moving. We're gonna check the tavern again because some time's gone by. My wife is all better. I can give my daughter any of these, but I don't know if I want to give my daughter any of these. Do I want to raise my kids to be criminals and stuff too, and to be difficult? Like, if I had a really nice trait, like, ambitious is good, it's just that we're not going to get along. Opinion of liege penalty for ambitious, and they hate other ambitious people, so my daughter will hate me. And I'm spending prestige. You know what? Screw it. Let's just let her personality develop organically. I'm not going to try to influence it. I don't want any more contracts because we're moving. So let's get moving. Now I have a mod that separates the Vatican from Rome. So I need to make sure to hit both of them. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, we will hit both. And I don't think I'm going to take any contracts here. We're just going to move our camp. And then we'll immediately move it again. But we do need to keep an eye on our provisions. We're not traveling far, though. There is some danger. But I can get rid of that for no cost. Oh, no, we already did the forward scouts. I can avoid it. Easy enough. 586 provisions, that's nothing. And I just canceled it. I apologize. I do like that buildings build even though you're traveling. My path back from my pavilion takes me close to the camp's edge, where the shouts and screams of children at play draw my attention. My daughter Duchess is leading several others in a mock cavalry charge across an even patch of ground, battering small sticks and branches at imaginary foes as they send an illusory foe skittering away in fear. After a moment, Duchess catches sight of me. The girl beams in my direction, clearly hovering between taking her playmates back towards camp or pushing out a little further into the wild. Stay within sight. Encourage her to explore. Tell her to stay in sight. There's a heist here in Napoli. I do enjoy heists. We can ambush travelers. This is a new one. I don't think I've ever done an ambush travelers one. So we visited Rome, got those. Let's go to the tavern, of course. Check the recruits. I keep thinking my wife is pregnant. Nobody seems to be good at intrigue, really. I'm being let down. If I do a heist, that's going to increase my thievery. I believe. Yeah, my thief. Doing the contract would give me 7 more experience, which would get me up to 38. It's 40 plus to get to level 2, so we could safely do this contract without increasing our wanted level in thievery. But what does this one do? Bandit. Hey, this is Count Theophylact that we had the event with, right? I'm gonna do this heist. Heists are really good, and we've had so much success. I hope I'm not pressing my luck too much by doing all these criminal contracts, but... we are the Van Der Linde gang, damn it. I'm thinking. I could start learning this language, and I start a scheme against him. Oh, this is not somebody I can bring in. See, I need to start reading these things. Ever since entering Capua, I've been treated much like an animal in a spectacular garden. The people stare in amazement at the mere way I speak and carry myself. As we make our way through, I am suddenly approached by a peculiar and enthusiastic man who, unlike the rest of the crowd, seems to speak Dutch. My word, so it's true, a Dutch boss here of all places. I've long admired Dutch customs, and I've even learned Dutch in my own time. What an honor it is. Why can't you join me? Loyalty is so nice. The potential profits from a heist are really, really good. Probably one of the best kind of contracts that we've done so far. But let's try to minimize the amount of time we're doing this. 86 days per phase right now. That is too damn long. Got it down to 39. Let's give Miss Grimshaw something to do. I'm gonna drop my daughter as a ward. This is new. Choose favorite child. Pre-select a character to showcase among your protection on next playable characters. Oh, I see. So this is like an in-game way of doing what I would normally do in a CK3 campaign, just to visually identify a child that I'm going to make my heir in the future. I normally give them a headwear or something. Can I educate another child? Nope. But I need to raise this kid. I don't want to designate... He's already my designated player heir. Do I need to make him my favorite child too? It's like kind of adding insult to injury. It's not necessary. But I didn't realize there was a favorite child option. They say children react more than anyone else to the places they find themselves. Fortunate for my daughter, Duchess, then, that she finds herself in the company of the most cunning thieves, ruthless bandits, and vicious scum that I've been able to gather. Fine environment for a young girl to grow up in, and one where she seems determined to take its many lessons to heart. I instill a little wisdom, and I give her +2 intrigue. Or she can gain some of, like, one of these personality traits. Or we can discourage it. Let's encourage it. 88% chance, that's good. Now she's going to be a better thief. But it's going to be a while before she's even allowed to come on jobs. Oh yeah, and I need to... I'll keep raising my second daughter. But I'm going to remove me as her guardian. And... Hosea Matthews is dying. I am giving her a learning education, so I feel like a better learning teacher would help her out. Yeah, and Hosea is probably going to die soon. So we'll give her to Reverend Swanson. We won't convert her culture. We'll keep her as Dutch. Once I find out the kids like, childhood trait. Once I find out what that is, then we'll decide a guardian for them. Wow, my daughter is getting into so much trouble. Father, cries my daughter Duchess, bounding up to me at a speed nearly bowling me over. Look what I found. It's a puppy. The girl does indeed appear to be all but swinging a freshly whelped pup. She is crooked into her arm. St. Catherine alone knows where she picked it up, but despite the awkward movement, the animal seems very excited to be here. Duchess looks happier than I've seen her in weeks. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. But she's gonna pick up its crap. She's gonna, you know, clean up after it and do all that. It's just like Ned Stark said. You feed them yourselves, you train them yourselves, and if they die, you bury them yourself. Another diplomacy perk. Grab that. That's really going to help with opinions, different culture opinion. And since I'm not doing any personal schemes, I'm going to learn somebody's language. We already learned French. And I can learn 4 more languages. Karen Jones is Cisalpine, so I can learn Italian Vulgar. I can learn Anglo-Saxon, which is going to be on the other side of the map to where we're going to end up, so... Not really much of a need. If I encounter somebody who's Greek before I start entering, like, Greek areas, you know? Because I'm going to be in a Greek part of the world for a long time. This is a big geographical area to cover along my journey. And I'm going to be here a while, remember, because we're going to park in Greece. So if I come across a Greek person, I'll learn that. Is it possible for me to learn Greek against somebody? Too far away. There's a Greek-controlled part of, like, the Balkans here along the Adriatic. Maybe I can learn Greek against somebody down here. Still too far. Okay, that's going to be something that we're going to do along our journey. Because I do want to come up north here again into Germany before we start coming down here into the Balkans and... But Greek would be a language. It's a good example of a language that I would get some value out of learning. Alright, let's speed up and finish this. 10 advantages, that's perfect. Now we have a more... Look at that. Count Sergius has up to 451 left. This will cover so much of our travels. If we take all this. We already stole 200 set. I'm taking it. I just got... No, a failure the nighttime. See, this is what happens. This is what happens when you're not careful. Everybody was imprisoned. I've been captured and detained by Count Sergius. I'm no longer free to return to my camp. Is there a way I can bribe him? Decision available. Escape from prison. I hope this does not last. Uh-oh. See, this is what I get. Alright. This entire campaign, we haven't had any bad things happen to us. As the guard is momentarily distracted, I reach for the keys hanging on his belt, but a firm hand stops me. You gain starved for 5 years. Moderate health penalty. Oh boy. Oh boy. Where am I again? I'm in Napoli. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Napoli is Greek. Ransom myself for 100 gold for a hook, which I don't have. Okay, I'm gonna ransom myself, obviously. We need to get Grimshaw out for 10 gold. That's nothing. Mr. Pearson. Blackmail him. Oh yeah, because we have a secret on him. He's already considering a proposal. Alright, so we need to ransom all of our buddies out of here. We didn't get executed or anything. Alright, guys. Hey, there were times in Red Dead Redemption where the gang members got caught. Maybe not some of the ones that I cared that got caught, like Micah, but it happened. So this is a good indication that we should probably move along now and get out of here. I mean, we still made a lot of money. We still have a bunch. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Mary Beth. I feel bad for Mary Beth. Mary Beth was such a sweet soul in the Van Der Linde gang. I still see all the good times I've shared with Hosea Matthews now as I step into the dimly lit room and see his weak body laying on the bed, almost motionless. I know with certainty that those days won't come back, and I feel a pang of deep sadness. We'll stay by his side. Alright, is that everybody? We're not going to ambush any travelers. But let's see, we are close enough to Napoli where I can learn the language. The odds are poor, and it's going to take a really long time. And I'm not staying here. It's probably going to take a really long time because he hates me. Yeah, his opinion has a big effect on it. And his learning sucks, too. Well, it's not awful. Alright, let's move along. Bump in the road, that's all it was. Bump in the road. We didn't get executed. I bet you this guy is ugly just because of how far apart his eyes are. Yeah. Useless. She's on the older side, but she's not awful, but no thanks. Actually, I forgot to check you. Yeah, it's the same story, on the older side. And I need a man. We already checked this guy. Depending on how much provisions would be, it's just about 200 gold to just completely fill up our provisions. Which I think is too much. Let's gather provisions. Not bad. Camp perimeters level 2. Travel speed. It's kind of negligible, the increase, only 2%. I guess it's better than nothing. I have space for a men-at-arms regiment, but I haven't needed it, you know? It's just something that I can ignore. It's a gold expenditure that I haven't felt necessary to do yet. So do I care about increasing my size of my regiments, or the max number of them? I'm sorry, I can't make up my mind here. Alright, folks. We had a close scrape there. We had a close call. Let's get the hell out of here. I definitely know I'm going to Venice. But I need to hit Ravenna first. And I need a new Hosea. I need a new... or a caravan master. Just avoid danger where possible. Alright, goodbye, Rome. I wish I could stay longer. I wish I had a reason or excuse to stay longer, but... we caused too much trouble around here. Willing follower. She's fecund, but this is kind of... no. Being fecund increases how long you stay fertile, so instead of going... instead of... she becomes infertile at 46, like the starting... like the years that she becomes 46. Ah. You can go fishing with John Marston. Him and his wife never had a kid. They never had a jack. Let's rest a couple of days. Got some more provisions out of it. Okay. On to our next destination. Which is right here. Oh, you know what I should do instead? Just to make the... instead of moving the camp here, and then moving the camp here, and then moving the camp here, we'll just have our end destination be the last place we want to visit, which is Bruno. Have that be our ending destination, and then we'll just make sure to hit these along the way. It might be necessary to hire... Alright, let's figure out what the dangers are going to be along the journey first before we decide what our travel options are going to be. How about you land here first, and then come this way? Oh, no, we have to go this way. I'm sorry. Which is going to be dangerous. I might have to spend some money here. That seems to have taken care of most of it. I seem to be forced. There's only 1% chance of danger, but it seems to be forcing me. I'm trying to go around this way, but it's not working. Whatever. Things are getting intense. Danger's prevalent around here. I really have to nitpick this travel, don't I? And there's 11% danger just at our destination. Okay, I'm taking back. We're just going from one place at a time. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to go from... Move camp to Regensburg, and then we'll figure it out along the way. That way, I'm not stuck with the same travel options the entire distance. I can go here, then switch up my travel options if I need. You know what I mean. There's war going on in Bohemia, which is why there's so much danger, I think. So not a well-timed travel, but let's at least get to Regensburg safely. So allow me to redo this. I'm sorry, guys. So what did we do? We did hire mercs and that. It's fine. 1,100 provisions. Which seems like a lot. I guess it's because we're traveling over mountains. These mountains look very treacherous. But it's still something to see, you know? Like, traveling over the Alps. I'm sure the Alps are beautiful. And it is August. It's not like it's in the middle of winter. Susan Grimshaw appreciates the freedom of life on the road. Am I robbing another grave? Yes, I am. Look at this. My player heir wants to be bossy. Is he telling us something? So that means he would be well suited to a stewardship education. Unfortunately, I'm not good, really, with stewardship. I mean, I'm decent at it, but it's not my best. And I don't have a lot of traits that I could give my son that would aid him in stewardship, aside from ambitious, which also has its own negatives, you know? But that is one personality trait that I'd be willing to influence him. But let's give him the stewardship education. And I can't influence him until he's 4 years old. How old are we? 39? Don't seem to be a lot of contracts in the area, really. I gaze down sadly at my meal, a barely ripe... I'm noticing this, that Trelawney's no longer my bodyguard, but we'll deal with it. There's no shortage of food at camp, but the variety is lacking. Wilting vegetables we have plenty of, but I could really do with some prime meat. Uncle leaps to his feet and volunteers. Bow in hand, going for a quiver. I've had enough of this. 88% chance of poaching. I'll upgrade this one next. Or no, let's check the mini upgrades that we can add. Nope, not yet. Move domicile travel speed plus 25%. Practical. Plague danger minus 15. Are there any plagues going on? Yeah, there's one in England. There's one over here in Persia or Iran. It's spreading along the Caspian Sea. And then there's one in northern India. So no really threatening things, so there's no need for this one. Camp hygiene. Everybody can just stink if they want. Let's do a fixed layout. Move domicile travel speed plus 25%. Oh, just looked at the clock. Where did we end up? Are we stationary now? Are we still moving? No, we stopped. We stopped. We're in Regensburg now. Which is really dangerous because Bavaria... Oh, no, it's still together. It's just showing all of its individual constituent parts when you're zoomed in. But it's still... At least I still think it's a kingdom. Yeah, it is. It's still together. Alright, so we ended up in Regensburg. I am going to wrap it up, guys, because we went over an hour, and I don't want this to go on too long. But a lot of good things happened. We traveled. We had an exciting experience in Napoli. That was the first time we got caught. I was a little more concerned when it happened than, like, after we dealt with it. It was pretty easy to deal with. Nobody died. Nothing bad happened. Everybody still loves us. At least I think. Yeah, everybody loves us. We didn't have success replacing our Arthur Morgan, but we did have a success in the sense that we had 2 sons. We have a future heir, at least for now. My wife is still able to bear me children, so we have time to possibly have a better son. But we had this first son at a pretty damn good age. He's 3 years old, so I had him when I was 36. I think that's a good enough distance in age. So when I die, my son's not going to be an old man when he takes over, you know? So that's good. I'm glad we had a son, and we have an heir, officially. Let's check our succession. So it is Dutch Jr. first, then Arthur, because this is male preference and camp succession. Even though we looked at it, it's basically like primogeniture. It's like primogeniture light. You don't get any opinion boosts or negatives. It's like a variation on primogeniture. Alright, lords and ladies, that is going to do it for this one. Oh, look how much Italy is spread. Italy is coming north. Interesting. Well, anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Hope you enjoyed episode 6. If you did enjoy this one, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button as well. We are racing towards 2,100 subscribers. I've been getting a lot since I started the series, which is really good. It's a good sign that you guys are enjoying it. So, if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Join us for future episodes of my CK3 series, Dutch's Legacy. Episode 7 will be coming at you soon. But until then, have a good one, guys.